Hare Krishna. Om Jnana Jnananjana Chakshutannilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hare Krishna. So this section of Bhagavatam, it is trying to help us understand this important concept, how a living entity, mm, when he comes in the association of a guru, the conditions will come out. He can come out of the conditions. So Puranjana, he was caught up. He got a female body, but unfortunately, uh, he got the association of a great devotee. So that made a difference for him in the life. So for us also, what makes a difference is when we get the association of a very great Vaishnava. So other than this, there is no hope for any of us. So this section, especially actually whole this canto, fourth canto is trying to make us understand how karma don't work. So we have to come out of this karma kanda mentality and come to the point of bhakti. So that is the most important understand. So here it ends with this important point where Puranjana, who was completely involved in karma, he comes to path of bhakti. And interestingly, King Prachani Barshit, he also comes to the same thing after hearing. So this is the Narada Muni's way of preaching. He's trying to explain him that karma don't work, and we have so much faith on karma. We already have certain formulas in life. If I do this, this will happen. If I do this, this will happen. So we are always depending on cause and effect in this world. Are I have to do this to achieve this, to do this to achieve this. But bhakti is causeless. It is not any karma aspect of bhakti. Bhakti depends on mercy. But we depend on cause and effect. Are he did like this, that's why he got it. He did like this, that's why he got it. And when we come to bhakti, we have this karma tendency. I will do this, I'll get it. I will do this, I'll get it. That is karma mentality. Jnana mentality is I should be free from suffering, I should be free from pain, I should be free from. Then there is yoga mentality. That is, I should achieve this success, I should achieve this perfection, perfection in playing instrument, perfection in deity dressing, perfection in this. That is all yoga mental. So we have these three mentalities. So whenever we have cause and effect mentality, we should know it is karma mentality. I do this, I should get this. I do this, I should get this. This is all karma mentality. So here also King Prachni Parshit, he was in that same king, and then Narada Muni made him understand with all these analogies that see, this is how we are caught in this world, and you have to get out of it. And here, fortunately, King Vaidharbi, she gets a husband who happened to be a devotee, and that means a living entity gets association of a spiritual master who will help us to come out of this mentality of cause and effect. Bhakti cannot, by because I did my chanting, I chanted 1 million rounds, I should get bhakti now. No, it is not like that. Krishna may give, he will not give. So it is not a, so we feel, why is this is not happening, why that is not happening. It won't happen. Because bhakti is causeless. This should be very clear. So whenever we have this attitude na, we should make ourselves cautious. Arre, this is, I am going in a karma direction. No. So anyway, here the King Malayadwaja, who happened to be a great devotee, he started performing great austerities. This is another important thing. By austerities also we cannot get bhakti, but by austerities we can clean our heart, which will help us to focus on Lord. So that can be happen, but it will not give us bhakti. So austerities are not cause of bhakti, but austerities will help us to clean our heart. To some extent of austerities are like now today is Ekadasi. So we have to not do any feasting. It is good to survive on some fruits. Some are fasting is better, but at least this much is okay. So why? Because that will clean our heart and it will help us to meditate on Krishna. So here also, by worshipping, executing austerities, and following the regulative principles, King Malayadwaja conquered his senses, his life, and his consciousness. Thus, he fixed everything on the central point of the Supreme Brahman. So this is what he did, and then next slok also says this is in this way he stayed immobile in one place for 100 years by calculation of demigods. After this time, he developed pure devotional attraction for Krishna, the Supreme Lord, and remained fixed in that position. So this is how much it takes an effort. Now, why he could have just stayed in the kingdom, chanted his 16 rounds, and followed four regulative principles, and then perfected his life. Now, why did he go to the forest and live so austere life? Right? Because that was possible for him, he did. For Kali Yuga, it is not possible. Like Prabhupada is writing here. 100 years of so King Malayadwaja executed austerities and penance for 36,000 years. After this time, he became fixed in devotional service. So to live on earth for so many years, one has to take birth many times. This is confirms this confirms the conclusion of Krishna. To come to the conclusion of Krishna consciousness and remain fixed in the realization that Krishna is everything, as well as render service unto Krishna, are characteristics of perfectional stage. Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krita Hoya. Very important statement for us. Like I was in one temple recently. I went to an ISKCON temple. There, in the evening, uh, I went to the terrace of the Brahmachari ashram. I saw one Brahmachari was chanting. I took some prasadam. I wanted to eat there. So I asked him. He just offered obeisances. I asked him, "What did you do?" He said, "I studied from IIT." I said, "Oh, and now what are you doing?" He said, "I joined ashram." I said, "Very good. How long did you work?" He said, "I worked for 10 days in the job." He did 10 days job and then he joined ashram. I said, "Why only 10 days?" He said, "I didn't like working. That's why I came here." Then I asked, what is inspiring you? What is motivating you to join ashram? Then he said, my Guru Maharaj said this verse, Krishna Bhakti Kaila Sarva Karma Krita Hoya. That's why I joined. But then I asked any other reason. So when one comes to the conclusion that Krishna is uh, uh, so he said that now the most important by worshipping Krishna, rendering service unto Krishna, one actually becomes perfect in all respects. Not only one must come to the conclusion that Krishna is everything, but he must remain fixed in this realization. This is the highest perfection of life, and it is this perfection that King Malayadwaja attained at the end. Now, this is very correct understanding he got, but thing is, I was not happy that he worked only for 10 days. The conclusion which his guru gave is correct only. His guru told, uh, but I have my own understanding. Like, why we have to at least somebody who want to join ashram, he should work for some time outside, not for everyone, but most of the people they should work, because what happens is he should get that realization that how people are responsible outside, and then when he comes in the ashram he will continue to remain responsible. Otherwise he don't understand what is responsibility. it is very difficult for him. He should be able to brahmacharya ashram is not to escape suffering. And then I asked him, what is the reason why you don't want to do? He said, oh, marriage is very difficult. My guru told I have to take karma of my wife also, children also. I also have my karma, so why should I increase? I said, these all reasons you are telling to escape only. This is all moksha, jnana tendencies. To escape suffering, you are joining. No, it won't work like that. We have to come to take responsibility and to serve Guru and Krishna more dedicatedly. That's why you have to join. So it is not to escape. If you are escaping responsibility outside, you will escape responsibility here also. It won't work like that. A person should be responsible in any field he is taking. And anyway, that's a different topic. But this verse, when he spoke, I remembered this, the incident. People, they're not understanding. If they don't take responsibility after joining ashram, then they'll get reaction, because you are not taking responsibility of parents and other things which you are supposed to do, but you are exclusively serving guru, then you will be free from the reactions. But if you are not serving guru and taking responsibility fully dedicated in service guru, then definitely you get a bad reaction. So then King Malayadwaja attained perfect knowledge by being able to distinguish the super soul from the individual soul. The individual soul is localized, whereas the super soul is all pervasive. He becomes perfect in knowledge, and that material body is not the soul, but the soul is the witness of the material body. So, this is the realization we should all get before leaving our body, of course. Then only we can give up the body. Otherwise, we are attached to the body, the false ego remains. Then we have to take another body, which is quite obvious. So, what is the realization? So, it's very clearly given. So, that uh, body is not the soul, but the soul is a witness of the material body. So, this practice we should get that realization. We don't practice separately, but realization should happen. The conditioned soul is often frustrated in trying to understand the distinctions between the material body, the super soul, and the individual soul. There are two types of Mayavada philosopher: the follower of the Buddhist philosopher and a follower of Shankara philosophers. Buddhists do not recognize there is anything beyond body. The followers of Shankara conclude there is no separate existence of Paramatma, the super soul. The Shankaras believe that the individual soul is identical with the Paramatma in the ultimate analysis. But the Vaishnava philosophers who is perfect in knowledge knows that body is made of external energy and that the super soul, the Paramatma, Supreme Lord, is sitting. So this is the Vaishnava understanding. So here, King Malayadwaja, he got that realization, and that's why he's perfecting his life. Then he says, in this way, King Malayadwaja attained perfect knowledge because in his pure state he was directly instructed by the Supreme Lord. By means of such enlightening transcendental knowledge, he could understand everything from all angles of vision. So this is also very important. Understanding everything from all angles of vision. So see what Prabhupada writes. In this verse, the word Sakshat Bhagavatoktena Gunana Harina are very significant. The Supreme Lord speaks directly to the individual souls when the devotees are completely purified themselves by rendering devotional service. Tasmat Tesham Satata Yuktanam. So, the Lord is the super soul seated in everyone's heart and he acts as Chaitya Guru, the spiritual master within. However, he gives direct instructions only to the advanced pure devotees. In the beginning, when a devotee is serious and sincere, the Lord gives him direction from within to approach a bona fide spiritual master. So, first, the Lord directs us to go to Guru, and then Guru tells how to go to Krishna. That's why we need both. So, when one is trained by spiritual master according to the regulated principles of devotional service, then the Lord also gives instruction within. Tesham Satatayuktana. So, like that. So, we get guidance from the Lord if we want to go to Him. Of course, he gives guidance for all living entities how to enjoy in this material world because that is their desire. Pare Brahmani Chatmanam Param Brahma Tatatmani Vikshmano Vihayeksham Asmat Upararamaha. King Malayadwaja could thus observe that the super soul was sitting by his side and that he, as the individual soul, was sitting by the side of the super soul. Since both are together, there was no need for separate interest. Thus, he ceased from such activities. So, this is very nice state. In the advanced stage of devotional service, the devotee does not see anything separate between his own interest and those of the Supreme Lord. Both interests becomes one, for the devotee does not act for a separate interest. Whatever he does in the interest of the Supreme Lord. At that time, he sees everything in the Supreme Lord. Having attained the stage of understanding, he sees no distinction. Thus, the so-called material world becomes spiritual. So, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. So, this is the understanding of this verse. Everything is intended for the service of the Supreme Lord. One cannot see Lord without being situated on a spiritual platform. So, what happens here is important that everything we are able to see Lord are in connection to Lord. And then there is no question of exploitation. Otherwise, we always use things for our own selfish interest because we are not able to see the things in connection to the Lord. That is the problem. पतितं परं धर्मज्ञं वैदर्भीमलयध्वजं प्रेम्णा प्रच्छ्राद् धित्वा भोगान् सापति देवता. The daughter of King Malayadwaja accepted her husband in all of as the supreme. In all as the supreme. She gave up all sensual enjoyment and in complete renunciation followed the principles of her husband who was so advanced that she remained engaged in his service. So for us, who should recommend that we should go to spiritual world? Spiritual master should desire that I should go to spiritual world, then only I can go. If spiritual master don't desire, then I cannot go. Because spiritual master desires, Krishna accepts. If we are not able to please our guru and if he is not getting a desire to recommend us to go to spiritual world, where is the question of it? And for spiritual master to recommend, we should please him. So we should dedicate our life for the mission of guru. Our material life should not be priority. Dedication, mission of spiritual master should be priority. That was priority for Prabhupada also all the time. Mission of Guru, mission of Guru. That should be the priority for us because he is going to recommend for us to go to spiritual world. So figuratively, King Malayadwaja is a spiritual master and Vaidarbhi is a disciple. The disciple accepts the spiritual master Supreme Lord as stated by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. One should accept a spiritual master not in the sense that Maya of the philosophers, but in a way recommended here. Spiritual master is most confidential servant. So, if a woman is fortunate enough to be a wife of a pure devotee, she can serve her husband without any desire for sense gratification. If she remains engaged in her exalted service of her exalted husband, she will automatically attain spiritual perfection. If a disciple gets, you see, if a disciple gets a bona fide spiritual master, simply by satisfying him, he can attain similar opportunity to serve the Supreme Lord. So that's all. We should do this in the life. We all got an opportunity to dedicate our life. Now, devotees, they can distribute books or preach or something we should do for Prabhupada. The daughter of King Vaidarbi wore old garment. She was lean and thin because of her vows of austerity. Since she did not arrange her hair, it became entangled and twisted in locks. Although she remained always remained always near her husband, she was as silent and unagitated as a flame of an undisturbed fire. These are the things which disciple should do. Prabhupada writing, when one begins to burn firewood, there is smoke and agitation in the beginning. Although there are so many disturbances in the beginning, once the fire is completely set, the firewood burns steadily. Similarly, when both husband and wife follow the regulative principles of austerities, they remain silent and are not agitated by sex impulse. At such a time, both husband and wife are benefited spiritually. One can attain this stage of life by completely giving up luxurious mode of life. So this is very uh, important. So initially there will be disturbance, but Prabhupada is telling, be steady, everything will go away. So this is very important. In this verse, the word Chiravasa refers to very old garment. The wife especially should remain austere, not desiring luxurious dressings and living standards. She should accept only the bare necessities of life and minimize her eating and sleeping. There should be no question of mating. Simply by engaging in the service of her exalted husband, who must be a pure devotee, the wife will never be agitated by sex impulses. The Vanaprastha stage is exactly like this. Although the wife remains with the husband, she undergoes severe austerities and penance so that although both husband and wife live together, there is no question of sex. In this way, both husband and wife is weaker than the husband. This weakness is expressed in this verse with the word upapatim. Upa means near to or almost equal to. Being a man, husband is generally more advanced than his wife. Nonetheless, wife is expected to give up all luxurious habits. She should not even dress nicely or comb her hair. Hair combing is one of the main business of women. In the Vanaprastha stage, the wife should not take care of her hair. Thus, her hair will become tangled in knots. Consequently, the wife will no longer be attractive to the husband, and she will no longer be agitated by sex impulse. In this way, both husband and wife can advance in spiritual consciousness. This advanced stage is called Paramahamsa stage, and when it is obtained, both husband and wife can actually liberate from bodily consciousness. If the and then last instruction Prabhupada is giving, if the disciple remains steady in service to the spiritual master, he need no longer fear falling down into the clutches of Maya. So if you are serving Guru, will not fall down for Maya. Otherwise, there is every chance. So at a very advanced stages also there is risk. But Prabhupada is giving all instructions for Matajis, how they should live Vanaprastha life. See, who will tell? Only Guru can tell, and Prabhupada can tell. Acharyas should tell. So Prabhupada has to write all these things. Some may not like why Prabhupada is so much strict, but it is actually standard that is going to help them. That's why Prabhupada has to write. So it is nothing against anyone. Prabhupada is telling what is truth and what will help them. So the daughter of King Vaidarbhi continued as usual to serve her husband, who was who was seated in a steady posture until she could ascertain that he has passed away from the body. So this is a very dramatic situation. She served so faithfully, and now one day she comes and trying to serve him, and he arranged all the things, and she saw that he is no more. Can imagine how much painful Vaidarbhi must be. She's so attached to him, and she's just faithfully serving him, and he left. So it appears that the queen did not even talk to her husband while serving. She would simply perform her prescribed duties without talking. Thus, she did not stop rendering service until she could ascertain that her husband has passed from the body. So she didn't know only. She is not even talking, just serving, serving, serving. And one day he left. While she was serving her husband by massaging his legs, she could feel that his feet were no longer warm and could thus understand that he had already passed from the body. She felt great anxiety upon being left alone. Bereft of her husband's company, she felt exactly as a deer feels upon being separated from its mate. As soon as Prabhupada's rating, as soon as the circulation of blood and air within the body stops, it is to be understood that the soul within the body has left. The stoppage of blood circulation is perceived when the hands and feet lose heat. One tests whether a body is alive or not by feeling the heart's palpitation and the coldness of the feet and hand. So this is actually what a very sad state. Being now alone and a widow in that forest, the daughter of Aidarbi began to lament, incessantly shedding tears, which sho- soaked her breast and crying very loudly. So there is no option, right? Very tragic state. Figuratively, the queen is supposed to be the disciple of the king. Thus, when the mortal body of the spiritual master expires, his disciple should cry exactly as the queen cries when the king leaves his body. However, the disciple and the spiritual master are never separated because the spiritual master always keeps company with the disciple as long as the disciple follows strictly the instructions of the spiritual master. This is called the association of Vani words. Physical presence is called Vapu. As long as the spiritual master is present, the disciple should serve the physical body of the spiritual master. And when the spiritual master is no longer physically uh, existing, the disciple should serve the instructions of the spiritual master. So, this is a very a painful state for the disciple when he loses his spiritual master, especially for brahmacharis. It is more difficult because they are attached to guru. For them, it becomes more difficult because for them, the only attachment is guru only. They are just they left everything to they came to ashram to serve guru, and they are serving guru, and now guru is no more. Then they will definitely feel, "Arey, I came to serve him. It is no more. Whom will I serve?" Then they understand, okay, I have to serve his instructions. So that is how they continue serving. And it is for everyone like that. So Grihasthas also, they should make their life mission to serve Guru. Both husband and wife should know we have to serve Guru. That's all. That's what is we have to do in life. The best of kings, please get up, get up. So now she's crying. How she's crying? Oh, best of the kings, please get up, get up. Just see this world surrounded by waters and infested by with rogues and so-called kings. This world is very much afraid, and it is your duty to protect her. So whenever an acharya comes following the superior source of the Supreme Lord or his representatives, he establishes the principles of religion as initiated in Bhagavad Gita. Religion means abiding by the orders of the Supreme Lord. Religious principles begins from the time one surrenders to the Supreme Lord. It is the acharya's duty to spread a bona fide religious system and induce everyone to bow down before the Supreme Lord. One executes the religious principles by rendering devotional service, specifically the nine items like hearing and remembering. Unfortunately, when the Acharya disappears, rogues and non devotees take advantage and immediately begin to introduce unauthorized principles in the name of so called Swami, Yogi, philanthropist, welfare workers, and so on. Actually, human life is meant for executing the orders of Supreme Lord. Manmana bhav madbhakto. That's all. That's what we have to do. The main business of human society is to think of Supreme Lord all the time. And what Acharya will do it. Therefore, this Krishna conscious movement is started to save the world from irreligious principle. Everyone should cooperate with this movement in order to bring about actual peace and happiness in the world. So Prabhupada is giving this very wonderful conclusion. And then he says, the most obedient wife thus fell down at the feet of her husband, her dead husband, and began to cry piteously in that solitary forest. Thus the tears rolled down for her eyes. No, no, it's such a painful situation. She's all alone. She just came with him to serve him and he left. Know what she can do. So, just as a devoted wife become afflicted at the passing away of her husband, when a spiritual master passes away, the disciple becomes similarly bereaved. She then prepared a blazing fire with firewood and placed the dead body of her husband upon it. When this was finished, she lamented severely and prepared herself to perish with the fire with her husband. So this is it is a long standing now. It is nothing. The Sati is not that now you can see this situation. She is not forcefully entered into fire. She voluntarily going into fire because the pain of separation is more severe than the burning which she gets when she enters into fire. She'll not feel that burning in the sense that she's getting more burning because of the separation. It is a long standing tradition of the Vedic system that a faithful wife dies along with her husband. This is called Saha Marana. In India, this system was prevalent even at the date of British occupation. At the time, however, a wife who did not wish to die with her husband was sometimes forced to do so by her relatives. Formerly, that was not the case. The wife used to enter the fire voluntarily. British government stopped this practice in considering it inhuman. However, from the early history of India, we find that when Maharaj Pandu died, he was survived by two wives, Madri and Kunti. The question was whether both should die or one should die. After that of Maharaj Pandu, his wife settled that one should remain and other should die. Madri would perish with her husband in the fire and Kunti would remain to take charge of the five Pandava children. Even at as late as 1936, we saw a devoted wife voluntarily enter the fire of her husband. I think in some 90s also, 90s, I was in some school time. One woman in Uttar Pradesh, she also committed sati, and many thousands of lakhs of people went to that holy site to see that. So this indicates that the devotee's wife must be prepared to act in such a way. Similarly, a devoted disciple of the spiritual master would rather die with the spiritual master than fail to execute the spiritual master's mission. You see, this is what is makes us go back home, back to God. We should execute the mission of spiritual master. As the supreme personality of Godhead comes down onto the earth to re-establish the principles of religion, so his representatives, the spiritual master, also comes to re-establish the religious principles. It is the duty of disciple to take charge of the mission of spiritual master and execute it properly. That's all. That is only duty we have. Guru's mission is only duty. Otherwise, the disciple should decide to die along with the spiritual master. In other words, to execute the will of spiritual master, the disciple should be prepared to lay down his life and abandon all personal considerations. Otherwise, he is not. He is just disabled for namesake. He is not doing anything. I do my sadhana. That will not work. Sadhana is there, but the mission of spiritual master is more important. That is the real. That then the quality of sadhana will be very nice. We do sadhana, but even somebody is just focused in delivering the soul properly. That means I do very strict sadhana. That is also service to Guru because that will inspire others also to do sadhana properly. So then the wife and children or family members who are around us, they should also feel little inspiration. Yes, this is what. So my dear king, one Brahman, like there are some devotees, they just go to Vrindavan and they are doing very sincere bhajan. So some persons it is possible, but some people they should do preaching also. Some people just their bhajan, seeing them, people are so much inspired. They're just doing chanting like Andhra Pradesh just did kirtan. but he inspired millions of devotees, and even now he's inspiring with his kirtan. So even after leaving also, so he just did kirtan, but that is inspiring. Somebody just doing deity service, they do nice dressings, so that is also service to Guru only. So some service we should connect to Guru's mission and very sincerely execute it. That's all. My dear king, one Brahmana who was an old friend of King Puranjana came to that place and began to pacify the queen with sweet words. The appearance of an old friend in the form of Brahmana is very significant. So now comes the Paramatma feature. Krishna is the old friend of everyone according to Vedic injunctions. So, Sruti mantra, Dva Suparno Sayuja Sakhaya. So, this is actually what the Supreme Lord is sitting in everyone's heart, and he gives the counseling and advice. So, and Vishnu Chakravarti states in Bhagavad Gita, we should be focused, Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, that one should serve the words of spiritual master. So, again, Prabhupada is telling the same point again. Vishnu Chakravarti remarks that unless one is very highly elevated in loving Supreme Lord, one cannot see him as he is. Nonetheless, if one sticks to the principles initiated by spiritual master, somehow or other he is in the association of Supreme Lord, since the Lord is in his heart. So this is the now important point. Prabhupada said that in conclusion, if a disciple is very serious, that means for all of us, if we are serious, if a disciple is serious to execute the mission of spiritual master, he immediately associates with the Supreme Lord by Vani or Vapu. So this is the only secret of success in seeing the Supreme Lord. You all want the secret of success, and Prabhupada is giving this. Only secret of success. There's no other big secret. What we should do? Seriously execute the mission of spiritual master. That's all. This is the secret of success in seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Instead of being eager to see the Lord in some bushes of Vrindavan while at the same time engage in sense gratification, if one instead sticks to the principle of following the words of spiritual master, he will see the Supreme Lord without difficulty. Shall Bilwanga Thakur therefore said, Bhaktistvai sthiratar bhagavan yadi syad daivena naha falati diva kishora murti मूर्तिस्वयं मुकुलचाञ्चलिस्येव तस्मात् धर्मार्थकामगतया सम प्रतीक्षा. If one is engaged in devotional service and then very eagerly then very easily can I perceive your presence everywhere. As far as liberation is concerned, I think liberation stands at my doorsteps with folded hands waiting to serve me. All material conveniences of dharma, artha, kama, moksha stand with her. That's actually what happens to a devotee. So, liberation is not a problem for devotees. So, Guru Seva is very important. Now, this instructions from the Paramatma. Brahmana vacha katvam kashyasi kovayam sayano yasya sochasi जानासि किं साख्यं मां येनाग्रे वचचार्थः. The Brahmana inquired as follows: Who are you? Whose wife or daughter are you? Who is the man lying here? It appears you are lamenting for this dead body. Don't you recognize me? I am your eternal friend. You may remember that many times in the past you have consulted me. So this is actually what is happening with Paramatma. When a person's relatives die, renunciation is automatically visible. Nowadays, that is also not visible, unfortunately. And I have attended recently when funeral, generally we don't go, but this was very close cousin. He left his body. I went to it. I didn't see any renunciation in people there. They're as cool as every day. They're just waiting when the ritual is complete, and then they are going home and doing all the things. They are seeing the bodies burning in front of their eyes. It didn't work only. I don't know. People become so insensitive. Actually, another thing is because they are seeing so much death every day in the movies and serials and all. Now they became immune to death and immune to any real things that are happening. They are getting immunity from this, which is actually not good. They're living in an illusory world. They are seeing death every day in the movies, and it's common. And now they are seeing death. So consultation with the super soul seated within everyone's heart is possible only when one is completely free from the contamination of material attachment. One who is sincere and pure gets an opportunity to consult the supreme personality of God, Paramatma, sitting within everyone's heart. The Paramatma is always the Chaitya Guru, the spiritual master within, and he comes before one externally as the instructor and instructor spiritual master. So the Lord can reside within the heart, and he can also come out before as a person and give him instruction. So Guru is only the Paramatma for us, who can directly give us. An uncontaminated soul or living entity can get a chance to meet Paramatma face to face. So then one can take instructions from the super soul directly in the form of Guru. And the Brahmana asked the woman who the man lying on the floor was. She answered that he was her spiritual master, and that she was perplexed about what to do in his absence. At that time, the super soul immediately appears, provided the devotee is purified in the heart by following the directions of spiritual master. So when the spiritual master leaves, Paramatma is there to guide. Provided what? Provided the devotee is purified in his heart by following the directions of spiritual master. A sincere devotee who follows the instructions of spiritual master certainly gets direct instructions from within the heart. That's why Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. By satisfying spiritual master, one automatically satisfies Krishna. So the word Agre means before the creation. The super soul has thus accompanying the living entity since the beginning of creation. So, okay, we'll take some questions. Uh, yes, Srinivas Prasad.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for sharing the nectar, especially the secret. Uh, my question is, Prabhuji, like you said about this sati process. So I just wanted to know from you that, like we have heard that every soul has its own journey. So how do we understand this? That that when the lady gives up her body prematurely, and the journey of the soul is like kind of a suicide, also you can say. So how do we understand that the journey of that soul is authentic by doing that? So can you just throw some light on that?
Actually, here it is not out of frustration or out of anxiety that soul is living. It is consciously they are living. So
Mm.
that's why they'll go to the person whom they are meditating on. Yam yam vapi smaram bhavam. That's what Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever state of consciousness you have, you'll attain it. Because she's consciously meditating on the husband.
Mm.
So she will go to the destination where the husband is going. So that's how it happens.
Okay.
So she's consciously able to give up her body. So it's a yoga process. It's not just any like yogi living his body is not considered suicide. He
Mm-hmm.
is consciously living his body. So he knows where he is going. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not a forced way. So in suicide, what happens is a person is forcing to leave his body, but his consciousness is already frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
He is very frustrated with what happened to in his life and all these things. So his consciousness is not good. That's why he don't get a proper body. He may get a body of a ghost or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but in this case, it's a conscious endeavor to give up. So it's a It's like yogic process only. It's
Okay.
elevating
So
learning.
basically, it's an authentic way. It was
Yeah, yeah,
authentic way.
yeah, yeah. It's authentic because he's conscious about what is happening to him. So for him,
Yeah.
it will work like that.
And
So
if the husband is not, though the husband must be practicing devotion or whatever level he is at. So, and if the lady is also like devotionally very elevated, so and she could have used that life for the service of others also. But if she's giving her life uh, prematurely, so how do we correlate all those things? Said if the husband
uh,
is not that elevated, or matlab, he was not, but she was attached to her husband and she could not uh, live without him, and she ended up in giving her life. But at the same time, if she was elevated and if she would have lived more, and she could have preached more or done some more service for the Lord, Guru. So how do we understand that it's like uh, giving up some responsibilities for Guru and Krishna?
we cannot know the soul's journey. What is the good thing for the soul? Lord only knows,
Mm.
and how the journey happens is not. It is not clear for us unless.
Mm. Mm.
So we'll not know what, because if she does everything right, okay, she feels that even though like Mandodari or Gandhari, as they are the considered very chaste personalities,
Mm.
even though their husbands are not
Correct.
great,
Mm.
but they followed the system. They also went into sati. They left their bodies.
Mm.
So now Dhritarashtra got liberation. He didn't go to spiritual world.
Mm.
So, but Gandhari will also,
Go
she's
to
a
that.
great personality. Yeah,
Mm.
she will also get the same destination. So,
Mm.
but we will not know what exactly will happen because the soul's journey
Uh,
only Krishna knows.
yes,
And
yes, yes. We can never.
yeah, but
Even.
if you follow the system, like there is a story in this really happened in Jaipur. I told this story also previously. Like one king, he came and he told his wife that. I saw a very special incident today.
Mm.
One of the soldier, he left his body.
Mm.
Then his wife, she was so much attached to him. She was so much devoted.
Mm.
She left her body.
Body
She went to sati.
along with the.
So the queen said, "Oh, she's not so chaste. Chastity means as soon as you hear that your husband left your body, you should leave your
Yeah.
body." That's what she says. And then she understood, "Arre, I made this statement, and one day king is going to test me."
Mm.
And she understood that he is going to test one day.
Mm.
And now then she goes to Guru and says, "See, I made this statement, and I know my husband is going to test. So
Mm.
what should I do?"
Mm.
So that means he will send a message that one day
I'm
that he
I'm
left.
leaving.
So some soldier will come and tell. So the Guru says, "Okay, I'll give you a plant.
Mm.
You put in your garden.
Mm.
And if the news that king is dead is real,
Mm.
then this tree will
Plant.
give an indication. It will
Oh.
get dried.
Mm.
If it is fresh, it indicates that he's no more dead. He's
Mm.
alive."
Mm.
So after few years, the king wanted to really test. So what he sends, he went for a war. He takes his arm, this mukut and what do you say, the
Sword.
sword, and he sends with one of the soldiers and
Soldiers.
inform that the king is dead.
Mm.
So he comes and tells to the queen, "My dear queen, the king is no more."
Mm.
Then she wanted to verify whether it
Mm.
really happened.
Mm.
So he goes to the tree and asks whether king is alive or dead. And the tree is fresh. So
Fresh.
he is alive. She knows.
Mm.
Now, even though he is alive, but
Mm.
now she already told that
Mm.
if just by hearing the news I should leave my body,
Mm.
so now she leaves her body. She
Oh.
knows he's alive, but still she leaves their body because she told that as soon as I hear the news, I should leave the body.
On
She
hearing
leaves.
only, I will.
So she told that on hearing I should leave the body,
Mm.
even though it is a false news, because she made the statement she leaves her body.
Mm.
And now the king comes. Then after that, king
Oh.
becomes very sad, and king comes to know that she knows it's a lie, but still she left her body because she made that statement.
Mm.
After that, he renounces and he becomes detached from all the worldly things.
Mm.
Now the point is, how could she live?
Mm.
Because she was having that much chastity, she could
Mm.
immediately bring out the fire from her body and burn herself.
Oh.
So she didn't commit any with the weapon or anything. She burnt
Mm.
herself within
Mm.
the from within, because people had that
That
much
power.
capacity,
Potent.
yogic powers.
Mm.
And now, because she lived like that, she will definitely go to heaven.
Correct.
So these people attain heavenly pleasures.
Correct.
There is no doubt in it.
Mm.
But only thing is, that is not pure devotion.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
So,
That is
but
basically just
all these
chastity.
things are there in the shastras. They are all dharma shastras. The
So,
give
but
how a dharmic life will make a person happy. So these are going to tell these things.
so then the Britishers changed this rule. So how मतलब it was not an authentic thing to do, but Britishers did it. So now things are differently followed. So how do we understand? It's
No, no, they were actually forcefully trying to make people do it. So that was the mistake they were
doing.
that was happening in the that time. So then Britishers intervened and they said, no, this is Raja Ramohan Rai and all these people.
Mm.
They were against it, and that is true also.
It should
Somebody,
have been मतलब self, not by force.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So, so that was the problem.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thanks a lot. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Gail Mati.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Uh, yeah, just a couple things, but just to follow up on this conversation. When you say that a person who commits suicide out of frustration, they're not doing it like consciously, as opposed to the, let's say, the yogis who do leave their body intentionally but consciously, you know. So when you
Yeah.
say those who commit suicide out of frustration, they don't do it consciously. What does that mean?
They are not, they are just worried about the things that happen to them. They are in a very emotional, mental state where they are not happy with what happened to them. Of course, here also in Sati, they are not happy, but they are more on a very, what do you say, completely absorbed in that bodily consciousness. They are thinking about their own things, what injustice happened to them or what did not happen to them, whatever. So they're more worried about what happened to them and all. But in this case, yogi is thinking of Paramatma, or he is detached from the bodily consciousness. Or in the case of
Hmm.
woman leaving her body, she's so much conscious about the husband. She's not thinking about her body getting burned. She's completely absorbed in the person whom she is feeling separation. So there is a difference in that. The consciousness level of consciousness is quite different.
Hmm. But like I think you were just now saying too that even that lady who leaves her body thinking of her husband, whether she's thinking about her husband or like the person who's frustrated, who's thinking about their own bodily distresses, both of them is only material consciousness.
Yeah, that's
Even
why they
that
go to
wife.
heaven. Yeah, they go to
Yeah.
heaven only. That's why.
Mm. Okay.
They go to heavenly
Yeah.
planets, or wherever the husband is there, that planet. If husband is in, go to Brahmaloka, they may go to Brahmaloka because they are thinking of the person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm.
And then also, when we say that austerities, they can purify the heart, I think you said, but cannot give bhakti, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So when we say that austerities can purify the heart, purifying the heart means austerities can eliminate those desires for personal, sense gratification and,
Yeah,
personal
basically
desires.
it's anarthas, lust, greed, pride, anger. So we can be free from anarthas to some extent. Like anarthas can be like, because that is what is holding us to this world. So we can be free from anarthas.
Uh-huh. Okay. And then just one last thing is, oh, and yeah, austerities, they can feel some anarthas, but they cannot, at least by themselves, or if at all, they cannot give one bhakti.
Ah, no, they cannot give bhakti. Bhakti is only if when somebody is not doing austerity, he can become a devotee also. That is not needed. I mean, without
Mm-hmm.
austerity, also a person can become devotee. Only thing is, for him, practice becomes little tough, his sadhana, because anarthas are holding him very tightly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if he is a little austere, then the anarthas, the power of anarthas will be little less on him. So it is easy for him to practice. Say now, I
Yeah.
have very bad habit of oversleeping, overeating, and all these things. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely it will affect my sadhana. But
Mm-hmm.
if I am little austere, then my sadhana will be very nice. So in that way, it
Mm-hmm.
is helpful. But otherwise, that is not the criteria. Anybody can be a devotee.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not an austere person can also be a devotee.
Okay. Um, just one last thing, Prabhu. If you can, it's more like repetition. When you were discussing the three mentalities of the Karmakandi, the Jnani, and the Yogi, right? I understand Karmakandi, they want something. It's like a transactional kind of thing, right? You do
Yeah,
something to get something, right?
yeah.
And with can you repeat for Jnana Yogis what their mentality is?
Jnana mentality is we want to free from suffering. We want to be free from pain. Good
Uh-huh.
health. No, we should not have any suffering, any sorts of sufferings. We want to get rid of any sort of suffering and pain is a Jnana mentality. So people
Uh,
they are having some health issues, they go to Lord, says, "My dear Lord, please help me get rid of these health issues. Please get rid of me, my all. Let my debts should be cleared. My wife should leave me or come back and all that." So we don't know what is what they can pray. So it's all Jnana
uh,
mentality. Get rid of pain like
yeah,
that.
yeah. And then yogis, they just want to become perfect in whatever field they are
Ah, the
pursuing.
perfection mentality is yoga mentality. Perfectionists. We want to perfect in this and perfect in that.
Yeah, I mean, even when we're engaged in material things, right? If you just want to become, let's say, the best in something, that's like a
Yeah,
yogi
yeah,
mentality.
yeah. That is, yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay, so just just trying to separate that a little bit when it comes to bhakti, like when a person is performing bhakti, right? They're on the path
Yeah.
of bhakti yoga. How might we recognize that yogic mentality kind of creeping in? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, for example, in when it comes to when a person is on the path of bhakti yoga, we can see how that karma kandi, mentality creeps in, right? You like,
Yeah.
for your rounds, you want to get, you know, this favor from Krishna, or you want, you want prema from Krishna because you have done XYZ devotional service. You want prema. That's like that kind of karma kandi mentality. But when it comes to, how might we see that yogi mentality in the path of bhakti yoga?
Yeah, there is a perfectionist mentality. We want to see everything perfectly done. So that is also a yoga mentality. Perfectionism is yoga mentality. It's not actually, it is correct to do everything good for Krishna, but there is also a tendency to myself learn all the things perfectly. So we may have a little bit of that perfection, becoming expertise something, and becoming a good in certain thing. Good means in the sense, uh, we can say we want to perfect mridanga player, perfect presenter, perfect dressing, perfect
So
management,
so
perfect this thing.
so this mentality is a problem because, like you said, we do want to do everything nicely for Krishna, right? But when the focus is on the perfectionism, that's more like an egoistic thing, no? It's like
Yeah.
you
Siddhis,
want
anything
to be,
siddhis. Yeah, yoga means siddhi. Siddhi means perfection. Yoga
yeah,
means siddhi.
but
Siddhis means perfections, like that.
yeah, I know, but I'm saying that if that becomes your focus in devotional service,
Yeah.
if perfection becomes your focus, then this is a symptom of of the false ego coming in there, no?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm saying that the difference is wanting to do something perfectly for the pleasure of Krishna and wanting to do, some item of devotional service perfectly more for the sake of false ego.
Ego. Yeah.
When it's
Yeah.
more for
Correct. Correct.
when it's more for
Yeah.
the sake of false ego, then it's like a
Yeah.
yogi
Then for Krishna.
mentality.
Yeah. 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 Correct. Correct.
Mhm. Okay,
Yes.
thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. So we have one question here. My doubt is that the husband has to be very Krishna conscious, so only can she go back to the destination of her husband, or else she will go to the hell, which is his destination. Secondly, in the age, even if the husband is very Krishna conscious, the wife is so okay. We'll take the first one. The first question is that uh, if the husband actually, if a wife is very chaste, she can deliver the husband from hell also. Like we hear the story of Sati Savitri, and so she was able to deliver the husband. But in this case, if a husband is a demonic person and wife is very chaste, and definitely wife will be elevated. She will not go to hell because she followed dharma. So that is also another thing to understand. Like if a wife is dying before the husband, where will the wife go? If she is a chaste lady, she will go to the heavenly planets. And even if the husband is demonic, she is thinking of her husband, but still she may not go to, if he is not elevated, she will not go because she followed dharma. Dharma rakshati rakshita. Everybody who's followed dharma, they will be elevated. So exactly, I also don't know in this case, but we can assume that nothing wrong will happen if somebody lived rightly. Lord's laws are not unfair; they're very fair. So no need to. Uh, they are very fair. If we go Dharma Shastras, we will know exactly some situations, some cases will be definitely there where such situation happened, what happened to wife, that will be explained there. I did not read. If I come in touch with any of that stories I'll let you know. And in this age, even if the second question is, in this age, even if the husband is very Krishna conscious, wife is also, but she could not do this, although from within she is totally uninterested to live, still need to survive because she can't die. I have seen one such case, so I had, yeah, now no need to do. We have to serve Guru and go back home, back to Godhead. Previously, now the quality of people are different. Quality of life was different. Now it is completely different. We cannot apply that rules at the present age. It is not possible. The quality of people who are in Mahabharata, we cannot imagine now. They are completely, even demoniac people like Duryodhana. He is ready to keep his word. When Arjuna went and asked for 5 arrows, which Bhishma promised that I will kill with this all 5 Pandavas, and Krishna sends Arjuna, get the 5 arrows. Duryodhana knows if he gives, I will be defeated. Still, he gives. I know for us, Duryodhana is a villain, is a very insecure person, and all these things. But he is able to keep his word. How he is able to do it? How Karna is giving charity. So, this we cannot understand. Even he did not, Kamsa did not do abortion for Devaki. For him it was like very heinous thing. And nowadays, how many women get, millions of children are dying in the womb of mother. So that means that time people, even demons were not even ready to uh, comprehend that much evil. But now it is a common thing. So the quality of people are different in the previous ages, so it was completely different. Their approach to the life and the quality of life and quality of people are different. Kali Yuga, nothing works like that. Okay. Uh, hope I answered the question. Thank you all very much. Uh, Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.